When I was buying this stock, I talked about it with a few people. People thought I was crazy. They are like, Ian, that's a bad thing to do. Don't buy it. Had people just discouraging me from buying it. Had people pointing their finger at me. And at the time, no one was buying this stock. And this is really interesting because despite what everyone said, I had conviction. I did the fundamental analysis. Hey everyone, this is Ian back with another video about dividend growth investing. I received a question recently on my YouTube channel from one of the viewers asking, hey Ian, could you please share with us your stock portfolio? Which stocks do you own? How have you allocated amongst them? How much do you own of each? All of those types of things. This question really wanted to understand what my portfolio looks like. And today I actually want to address that particular question. However, I'm probably not going to be answering it in the way that the person asking the question was originally intending. So there is a reason actually that I do not share my stock portfolio online. One, I just tend to be a little bit of a more private person when it comes to my personal finances, so I don't like to just disclose everything on the internet. But more importantly, there's actually a very good reason I don't share it, because I don't want to negatively affect others. I don't want people to see my stock portfolio and make mistakes by assuming because I own a stock or it's in my portfolio that it must be good. And you may be thinking, I would never do that. I would never model my own portfolio after someone else's. I would do my own research. This wouldn't affect me. But I am here to tell you that I have personally made this mistake. There's some pretty amazing bloggers in our space in dividend growth investing, and these bloggers have shared their portfolios, and I have nothing against that. I mean, everyone has to do things their own way, and I think a lot of these people that shared their portfolios, they're really trendsetters. This is the first time things like this have been done online. But I want to set a trend of my own. I want to do things a little bit differently here at PPC Ian. And if you want to learn my portfolio, honestly, you probably could. If you watch all the videos, in each video I tend to drop a few names of stocks that I either own or have owned in the past. And so you could probably put the pieces together. But again, I don't want to really just share it in one central location, because I actually think that it could do more harm than good. And I'm going to illustrate this today through a tale of two stocks, just like my last video. I want to share two stocks with you today. One of them is BHP Billiton, ticker symbol BBL, and the other is Altria, ticker symbol MO. So I'm going to pick up my notebook really quick. So BBL. I bought this stock a few years ago. I've completely sold out of it now, in full disclosure. And BBL, BHP Billiton, I lost 33% of my principal. I earned some dividends along the way. I think they had to cut the dividend. Business wasn't doing well. I eventually just sold out of it. Why did I buy BBL? I bought this stock because I saw it in someone else's portfolio. Just like the person asking the question, I like to look at these portfolios too. I see what everyone in the community is buying, and I bought it. I bought into it. Certainly the hypothesis is that it had gone down. They're a big producer of iron ore. Iron ore is the raw materials used to produce steel. Obviously, I was assuming that the worldwide economy would rebound and that things would get better. Well, a lot of the infrastructure that was going to be built, especially in China, with steel, a lot of that building is done, or at least has been pushed out. So BBL has had a really slow recovery. They had to cut the dividend. Honestly, I started questioning the stock that I bought. I ended up selling it because I just didn't have conviction. I only want something in my portfolio if I can hold on to it for the long term. And long term, I'm talking 20, 30, 40 years. As a dividend growth investor, I'm trying to drive passive income. I'm trying to drive a huge yield. I want cash flow. And the only way to build sustainable cash flow is by buying high quality stocks that raise the dividends year over year so that I can achieve a really high yield on cost. I can buy something now and it will yield a lot more for me in the future, and eventually I can live off of those dividends. And BBL was just going the wrong way, and I made a mistake. We all do, and that's okay. I learned from my mistakes. I want to share this with all of you because even though I'm doing really well in the dividend game, I've been doing this for a long time, I've made my fair share of mistakes even in recent years. And I would say BBL is probably the biggest mistake I've made in the last 5 years of my investing career. And I made the mistake. I don't want to blame anyone. It's my fault. But I probably put too much faith on the fact that everyone else in the dividend community was owning this stock, and I bought into the hype. Sure, I did the research, a fundamental analysis, but that is the reason I don't want to share my portfolio, because you should be picking your own stocks. Go out there, research industries, research from the ground up, because when you buy stocks like that, you will have the conviction to hold them for the long term through good times and bad times. You will have done all the research yourself, and it will play in your favor because, again, to really enjoy the rewards of dividend investing, you're not going to see that in the first few years, probably not even the first 10 years. You're going to see it 20, 30, 40 years out. And to really experience that massive cash flow, life-changing cash flow, the kind of cash flow that can pay for all of your living expenses and more, you need to hold on. You need to pick the right stocks, and you have to have conviction to hold them. And so that's why I like that bottoms-up fundamental analysis rather than looking at portfolios out there and sometimes getting biased by them. So I told you guys this is going to be the tale of two stocks. Let's move away from my negative experience and my mistake to my positive experience. So this is actually the first time I'm sharing this online, and honestly, for good reason, because there's a lot of socially conscious investors out there. So I hope this news isn't disappointing to anyone. But I do invest in a company called Altria. Ticker symbol MO. This is a company US-based that produces the Marlboro cigarettes, among other tobacco products for adult consumption. And I don't want to get into whether cigarettes are good or bad today. I would just say at a high level, my belief is that every adult has the right to decide for themselves what they want to do in life, and there are many things that are good and bad for you. I tend to believe in moderation, and I tend to believe in choice. So if someone wants to consume a soda, a hamburger, a cigarette, they should have the choice to do that, but they should also moderate that and not go overboard. So that's my high-level philosophy, and I typically don't believe in having a huge government that regulates decisions that individuals could make on their own. But again, I don't want to get into politics today. I'm just saying at a high level, that's how I approach it. I'm very open-minded about all investments, and I personally had, it was not an issue in my portfolio to own some Altria in my portfolio. And so let's talk about Altria though. What's funny is because it's such a controversial topic, cigarettes, when I was buying this stock, I talked about it with a few people. People thought I was crazy. They are like, Ian, that's a bad thing to do. Don't buy it. Had people just discouraging me from buying it. Had people pointing their finger at me. And at the time, no one was buying this stock. And this is really interesting because despite what everyone said, I had conviction. I did the fundamental analysis. I looked at all of the financial statements, and I determined this stock is for me. Well, here's what's funny. In 2009, I purchased this stock for $15.99. Right now, as of today, it's worth $63.70 some odd cents. I've made a 300% return on my investment. I don't really care about that though, because I'm never selling. I buy stocks for the dividend. Here's where it gets interesting. I'm yielding on my original purchase price of $15.99. I'm yielding 15.26%. So just about 8-9 years later, holding this thing less than 10 years, I am yielding 15.26% on my initial investment. There is nowhere you can go right now and get a 15% yield. This is the magic of holding on, being strong, and dividend growth investing. And conviction, going through the ups and downs. I mean, I've had a lot of ups and downs with all of the stocks I own, including this one. And it has taken conviction, but I had the conviction because I didn't just find this online in someone's portfolio. I did the fundamental analysis and I bought it despite people telling me, don't buy that, Ian. You shouldn't buy that. I did it because it was my decision to buy it. And again, I'm not saying if you go out and just look at portfolios, you shouldn't do that. I do that all the time, but I'm just saying here on PPCE, and I don't want to share my portfolio because I'm trying to make a point. And I'm trying to help you avoid potentially some of the mistakes I've made over the years, including very recently with BHP Billiton. So to close out today, just want to add a disclaimer. I am not a licensed investment advisor. This is not investment advice. I'm just sharing my passion here on YouTube. I'm passionate about investing and just sharing this for fun and entertainment. If you are going to go out and invest money, please consult a financial advisor, your financial advisor first. Also, I want to add a disclosure. I own stock in Altria, ticker symbol MO. I'm long on that stock. I have no plans of selling it. And also as a disclosure, I used to own BHP Billiton, ticker symbol BBL. I sold out of that. I do not have any intent of buying that stock again. I want to thank you all for the great questions. I want to thank you for the support on YouTube. I truly hope that these videos are fun, entertaining, interesting for everyone out there. Keep the questions coming because they are fueling this channel. Really, I am looking at those questions and they're helping me fuel and uncover the next video in the series. So thank you so much. I will see you in the next dividend investing video.